This is the third reading from In a Shallow Grave by James Purdy. The other thing that annoyed the applicants about me was this. They did not like what one smartass called my metaphysical speeches. I know no metaphysics or philosophy. I don't know anything. But I would talk on two topics which are simply reality to me: joy and the meaninglessness of death. Is there joy in this world for anybody? And has death any meaning? They would, as one of the early applicants phrased it, like to foam at the mouth when I did these discussions. None of the applicants liked anything I did or said, and I would not even bother to describe the early ones. None liked anything about me, as I say, until, well, you wait now. There was at least 4 applicants before my favorite came, and let me warn you, I do not believe he was from this world. I believe he was sent by the maker of all things, perhaps, if such exists. I do not say that he brought me total joy, but he was the ideal applicant. But just before he resigned, packed and lit out, James Powell had sat down and said a thing which considerably lightened my heart. "Garnet," he began, in that pained, cautious, weary with sin look preachers often put on, "Widow Rance reads your letters and keeps them." And before I could ask any details concerning this hurricane sentence, he was gone. I ran out to the big road after him, but his old jalopy had carried him away. I stood in the big road for quite a spell, and some people going by then in a big car with a New York license took one look at me and said, "Where in hell are we if they're all going to look like him now?" These remarks about my appearance still hurt me at this stage of my life, but not like they did when I first come out of the army, when people would stop on the street in Washington, D.C. and scream or retch, and I would go back to the army hospital and groan and clench my hands and tear my shoelaces out of my shoes. Usually the doc was watching me by the door and would repeat the same thing. "These things pass, Garnet. You are in the land of the living, remember, while all your buddies are gone." But Doc is not marked with the coating of death, as I am, and my buddies are all, at least all save dead, while I have been allowed to live, but with the appearance of one from the Underkingdom. "Doc," I said, now that I had him engaged in conversation, "how do I look to the other folks, do you think?" Doc give me his speech then about bone structure, height, posture, and my hair. "Yes, isn't this sort of a joke, too, on me? Why, hair is... Yes, and my hair, yes. Isn't this sort of a joke, too, on me? My hair is kind of blonde hair that looks like corn tassel, and in the right light looks almost white. So that I remember my first grade teacher had said, 'You have hair a girl would die for.' Whilst everything else turned the color of mulberries, my hair was untouched by when I was blown up in the war, and so it has made me look even more outlandish. My education had stopped at the 8th grade because I was incorrigible, but I had what my mother said was the bad habit of reading. But I always read books nobody else would turn more than the page of, and my knowledge is, and was, all disconnected, unrelated. But the main book I always kept to, even after my explosion accident, was an old one called Book of Prophecies. From it comes my only knowledge of mankind now. I read and have read to me. However, nearly everything in my house is all books and emptiness. But James Powell's words stayed with me. I've said this before, like big smoke rings from the cigarette billboard ads. I could see and taste his words. "Widow Rance reads your letters and keeps them."